Would you like to know more about work camping and full-time RVing? Hi, I'm Steve Turtle and I'm a work camper. This story is about Jill and me, our adventures, our travels, and a whole lot of work camper stuff. If you're a work camper or you're dreaming to become a work camper, you should subscribe and ring that bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new story. You don't want to miss one. Last week, I talked about my Monday work camper routine here at Millbridge Village Camp Resort. I had a joke about 3 work campers, and I revealed the winners of the giveaway challenge from last week. 4 subscribers won Steve and Jill die cut stickers. Now, if you missed last week's story and you'd like to see it, I'll leave a link right up there. This week, I'm talking to a couple of YouTube creators, work campers, and full-time RV'ers. Chicken has a concern about his job, and I'm going to shut up and get right to the interview. Otherwise, this might be a 20-minute story. When I die and go to hell, it will be several weeks before I realize I'm not at work. Okay, let's talk a little bit about work camping. This week, I'm talking to a couple of YouTube creators about work camping and full-time RVing. Hi, could you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Hi, we're Mary and Jerry Hughes from Outdoor Staycations. We first started following Steve Turtle and his YouTube channel quite a long time ago, and we had the pleasure of meeting them a couple of months ago. We're very happy that Steve asked us to be part of this video, and he wanted us to start by telling you a little bit about ourselves. Both of us started camping with our families when we were children, and when we met, we continued camping, and we've taken our children, who are now grown, camping throughout their whole lives. We travel in a fifth wheel. It's 30 foot long, so we're comfortable getting into national parks and state parks, and we tow it with a Silverado 2500 HD.
As Mary said, we started traveling a long time ago. Our first trailer was a 16-foot Ciro Scotty with a full bathroom, which, by the way, my mother never let us go into. It was hers. And slept 6, traveled in a station wagon, traveling around the country, up to the Canada and the World's Fairs. It's quite a difference from even a small 30-footer to what a 16-foot with 6 would be. I believe Mary started camping in a van.
Actually, we started camping in an Army tent with a family of 5, and then went through the same thing many of you have, went up to a pop-up, went up to a small trailer like Jerry's family. I think ours, though, was maybe 18 foot. And then we did have a conversion van that was fantastic, and my parents ended up full-timing when they retired. Jerry and I have been full-timing for 4 years now, and we've seen a lot of the country.
How do you make enough money to sustain your full-time RV life?
Well, when Mary and I decided to do this just over 4 years ago, we knew money would always be an issue, and money management. So right at the beginning, when we sold most of our possessions, the ones that didn't matter to us, some of the tools, some of the furniture, but we did keep some of our photo albums and some furniture that are in storage. But again, we knew money was going to be an issue. So we decided right from the get-go, before we started this project, we were going to buy a used pickup truck and a used trailer with monies that we had made from a little bit of savings that we had and from selling our possessions. So on the road, we would not have a lot of monthly bills that we had to plan into our travel. The first year, we decided we were heading to Florida to do some as you call it,
sightseeing and visiting friends.
And living on somebody else's property.
Boondocking,
Boondocking,
yes.
That's the
yes,
word
we definitely did some boondocking.
We did some boondocking to shave some money off. We stayed in a lot of parks in Florida because we're Florida residents and we can do it at a discount. And we were lucky enough to hit the Tampa show. When we hit the Tampa show, they had a lot of different opportunities set up there soliciting work campers.
So we definitely interviewed and signed up on the spot while we were in Tampa. We spent one day at the show, and by the time we left, we had jobs for Dollywood for the summer season. We had jobs at the beet harvest for the fall, and Jerry was signed up for Amazon for late fall.
And one of the things we were always very careful about is that it was money-paying positions. We weren't in a position where we can do an exchange or a swap. When you do the beet harvest in Amazon, mostly the sites are paid for and your utilities are paid for. Dollywood, we did have to pay our sites, but with both of us working, it was an affordability.
The thing is, we were looking for the opportunity to travel to parts of the country we had not been. I had never been to Tennessee, certainly had never been to North Dakota, and Amazon is in a variety of different places in the country.
What do you do for health insurance?
Well, I happen to be a disabled veteran, so all my medical needs are taken care of by the U.S. government, and that takes care of mine.
Yeah, mine was a little bit more challenging. We actually started full-timing, and I did not have medical insurance. When I left the state we were living in, that ended my insurance. But when we were down at the Tampa show, we came across Dollywood, and interesting, they offer medical insurance for full-time seasonal employees who work a minimum of 26 weeks. There's some other miscellaneous stuff you should be aware of, but the general idea is I signed on with them, agreed to their terms, and I received health care after working here for 30 days. In addition to that, even if I didn't want to work those amount of weeks, they have a on-site clinic for all of their employees. And that would be well visits and that sort of thing. You need a script for having a cold like I have right now, whatever. But it's really cool. Now later we found out that at the beet harvest, they have a union if you've worked a few years there, and somehow they offer health care. I've never looked into the details. And when we were down at, later on we'll tell you that we were down working at the gate guarding, and unlike other people, we were not independent contractors. We actually got hired on by the corporation we were working for, and they in turn offered health care. So it's not impossible to get health care. You just have to look for it and be willing to meet the requirements.
Yeah, Mary's right at that. Down in Texas, we were employees of Guard 1. We were not the 24/7 variety of gate guards. We actually worked for them when we worked 12-hour shifts, 12 on, 12 off, and did qualify for medical.
Are there enough jobs in the places that you want to work? And what type of work do you prefer?
Yes, there's a phenomenal amount of jobs out there and available. Mary and I like to travel a lot, so what we do is we pick our places of employment depending on an area of the country we would like to visit. We only like staying in one place 3 or 4 outside of Dollywood because of the insurance. We like the 90-day stints and then move on to the next part of the country. If you go up on Workampers news, there's plenty of places. The only thing we've stayed away from, and this is for personal reasons, was areas like the Corps of Engineers, which work for an exchange site. We still need an income, and we've stayed away from many of the campgrounds that have an exchange of site for partial hours work. As you saw, or you may or may not have seen on our website, Mary and I have managed campgrounds for 14 years, and to be honest, we've had our fill.
Well, there's all sorts of opportunities out there. One of the neat things about the beet harvest is you talk to people who have done work camping all over the place. We have friends that have done selling Christmas trees, selling pumpkins. They've worked at Wall's Drugs. They've worked at Custard State Park, campgrounds and charity organizations. One of the neat ones I liked was some of the opportunities at Yellowstone. I'd like to do that sometime. I would like to do, when money isn't as important, we'd like to do some exchanges in some of the campgrounds along the East Coast. They're just so pretty out there. There's plenty of opportunities. You just have to get into the environment where you're hearing about them.
Mary's right. One we would like to have done, but I'm not physically able, is the Christmas trees. But I'm pretty sure I can do the fireworks. As long as I give you samples, I'm going game for that. One interesting one that we might do, since our daughter's up in Seattle, is the cherry, and this is the cherries that you eat. They have cherry, like the beet harvest, they have cherry harvests. And if we're desperate enough, they have...
Oh, but more importantly is the cruise people. I've had friends that have gone up there and worked for the cruise lines, baggage handling or selling side tours, and that would be really great to have an opportunity to work in Alaska. So we're nowhere near tapped the opportunities out there.
What is your traveling like? Do you have a routine? Do you go north for the summer, south for the winter? Certain jobs that you like?
Well, one of the interesting lifestyles that this brought us is we found some areas of the country we like a lot. We love the Savannah, Myrtle Beach area. We love the Biloxi area, New Orleans. We've gotten to some areas like San Antonio, Texas. So what's really makes it very difficult is we've hit these areas that we like, and we're sure there's more areas out there we would love just as much. So what we're trying to do is, like I said previously, we're trying to work 2 or 3 months, earn a little money, get some gas behind us, move to another area, a new opportunity. But one of the things we do like is we like touristy areas. We like, again, like I said, Savannah. We like areas where there's action in lieu of raw wilderness.
We definitely like to work where there's things going on, like Pigeon Forge, like San Antonio. But when we're traveling, we do like to take and go from point A to point B by traveling maybe several hundred miles, staying a couple of days, and then continuing on our trip. That's kind of vacation mode. But when we're working, we like to be in a place where there's lots of things to see and do. Another place there's lots of things to see and do is in the Badlands. There's so much up there. And in the Pacific Northwest is another great place that we'd like to try sometime.
Yeah, Mary's right. When we spend time earning money, we like being in destination areas, places with a lot of life. When we travel on the road, the 2 to 3 months that we consider travel time, we almost always do state parks, national forests. We'll travel for 1 day, stay in an area 1 and 2 days, then travel on to the next place. We try and keep it to 200 to 300 miles per day trip. Sometimes that doesn't work out. So we have both lifestyles. We have the wilderness, deep woods on our 3 to 4 months when we're traveling around the country, and then we have our very active lifestyle when we're earning money.
And in addition to that, Steve asked if we go north for the summer and south for the winter. Our family situation doesn't quite let us do that. We have a family in Connecticut. It's cold in the wintertime. And we have family in Northwest United States where it's cold in the wintertime. Unfortunately, so is Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, some birthdays, anniversaries, that time of year too. So no, we have a winter camp in New England and we have winter camped in the Northwest. Yeah, we don't go north for the summer and south for the winter.
No, we have spent Christmas at 5 and 10 degrees below in Connecticut, and we have spent Christmas when it rains like anything in Seattle. Oh, it rains in Seattle.
But you know, that's where the grandkids are. We kind of have to go see them.
Now that you've been full-time RV'ers and work campers for about 4 years or so, would you have done something different?
Yeah, I think I would have married somebody that had a lot of money. Because this takes a lot of money to do it. Now, we've been married 41 very happy years.
What would I do different? We tend to get time off and I immediately want to see the grandchildren, which are never in the same area of the country that I've been in.
Oh, come on. We once did 1,400 miles each way to go to a birthday party.
Well, you know, that's what grandparents do.
Because his birthday was in February, and nobody ever gets there in February. So we were in Florida, deep Florida, and Mary said, let's go to our grandson's birthday party.
In Connecticut. Well, yes, so that's what I would do differently. Not miss his birthday party. Oh, no. What I would do differently is not necessarily rush from one point to another point. We tend to say, well, we're going to go 200 miles and stop for a couple of days. And we end up pushing it a little longer and going a little further. And instead of taking 4 or 5 days in a place to explore, we only do it for 2 or 3 days. I think if in the future I'd like to slow down a little bit.
This is Mary and Jerry Hughes from Outdoor Staycations.
And Katie and Pedro, our little friends back here, would like to do a shout out to Monkey and to Chicken. And all of that can be found on our Outdoor Staycations channel. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Jerry and Mary. Thanks, Katie and Pedro. Well, that was Jerry and Mary of Outdoor Staycations. They're a great bunch of people to know, and they have a variety of information on their YouTube channel about work camping adventures in their day-to-day lives. I hope this interview gives you a little more insight into full-time RVing and work camping. Now go on over to their channel, check them out, subscribe, leave them a comment, tell them Steve Turtle sent you, and I'll leave a link to their channel right up there. Congratulations to all the subscribers that won Steve and Jill die-cut stickers last week. Well, that's our story for the week. Hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, click like down below and smash that subscribe button if you'd like to hear more stories like this one. New stories every week on Wednesday, right here on this YouTube channel. And ring that bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new story. You don't want to miss one.